Hello, everybody. Hello. It is Premier League action again, and this time Liverpool go away to the Etihad to face Manchester City in a game where you could probably say neither can afford to lose or possibly draw, especially with our friends down in North London doing ever so well. So it's a really, really big game. And to discuss it all, I've been delighted to be joined by Mr. Bernard Deneen from the Citizen channel or the Film and TV channel, whichever you want to say. Bernard, it's been a while. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I've started with a bit of a cold and a cough, but hey, it's that time of year, isn't it? As soon as I get the messages to have a flu jab, I start getting colds and coughs. But yeah, I can't be bothered. I'm not old enough for flu jabs. I don't want to have flu jabs. I want to be brave, but obviously, this morning when I woke up, I thought I should have had the flu jab.
Well, you're very welcome. And yeah, it has felt like a while since we last spoke.
Yeah, I think as you say, I thought it was. I was thinking it was last year, but we're talking a couple of years ago, something like that. So a lot's happened, of course, for both clubs, hasn't it? I mean, we were the reigning champions last time we spoke, but obviously that mantle has now been passed along, and ready for Arsenal to take it. Obviously.
It does feel like it at the moment, but yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it, guys. Please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. And as Bernard and I know, we do know about the hype button. Please do press that hype button because it is all about algorithms and it does put us out there as well. But let us start with obviously Manchester City. Been a very interesting summer, Bernard. I mean, you've had quite a window. A few very well known players went out. Obviously, Ederson I think was probably the biggest one to go out, but in comes Mr. Donnarumma. How would you sort of sum up your transfer window?
I thought it was interesting. I think that's the thing at the moment. Of course, we're into the last, in theory, couple of years of Pep. Of course, if he's going to build a team, he's not got long to do it, has he? Let's be honest about it. So, I think somewhere in the background, when you bring players like Donnarumma in, who's totally not really a Pep keeper, but we're not really seeing a totally Pep team now. I think had to change. He's been forced to change. Of course, last year it was a season too far. He admitted himself he thought he could get another season out of his guys. It never happened. We got key injuries, of course. Rodri, KDB missed most of the season. So things like that happened. And of course, it was all downhill. So in January, we had to rush out, didn't we, and buy three or four players. Which meant we had the best run in the Premier League, of course, at the end of last season, and of course, only because perhaps Liverpool had won it already, so they eased off. They eased off anyway, didn't they? Let's face it. With that
Yeah.
many points clear, you didn't, So even though we had the best, if you like, form of all the Premier League teams from January, of course, that's partly of that was because of Liverpool had already had it won, so they weren't that bothered the last few games. Of course, they weren't. But then we've added to that, as you said, in the summer. Donnarumma was a very late one. Ederson
Mm.
was still saying all the right noises, saying he wanted to play, but he only had a year left. So you're thinking, well, is his head right? Is his head right to do it? He was okay last season, Ederson. I mean, if you interestingly enough, he did a Player of the Season last season, and Ederson with the Manchester Evening News ratings, I do averages, I do my own, and I have a look at the Manchester Evening News, a local paper, and he was their number one. He was our number one with the Manchester Evening News for ratings for all the season. Yet most fans would have said he had a crap season last season. So it
Mm.
was a big surprise, but even more a surprise, of course, Donnarumma, who, as I said, nothing like a Pep goalkeeper. So I think one eye on the future with some of these purchases, one eye on the future with the tactics we're playing as well, because some of the stuff we do is Pep like, but a lot of the stuff we do isn't. It's a bit of a mishmash at the moment. So Pep's learning on the job. And as I said, with a couple of years left, I don't see him extending beyond that. He's preparing though. I think we've got players that other managers can do stuff with. And I think that's the whole point of it. I think that's what we're doing at the moment. We're not buying particularly Pep players as such. Pep will get
Mm.
a, Pep will get a tune out of him. Of course he will. He's a great manager. but I think we're one eye on the future as well, and one eye on the fact that these players, obviously even Rodri to some extent, he's still not come back properly
Yeah.
after his injury. And we're getting to a team now. We're not really missing him the way we're playing because it's not really a Rodri-esque based tactical masterclass like it used to be. And a guy like Gonzalez, who's quite capable, isn't as big, as strong, as perhaps intelligent in that role, but he's doing a job because it's a different city now. It's not built all around certain players. It's not built around KDB. It's not built around Edison. It's not built around that sort of goalkeeper, centre half, middle, and the striker. We've got Haaland, of course, who's there. He was there for the last couple of years, but yeah, it's a different city. I think we're preparing
Mm.
for post Pep. And another manager coming in will have a good set of players, and he'll also have the ability to buy players as well. So I think we're setting it up for old Vinny to come in a couple of years' time.
Is it a Vincent company you want?
I don't know. I don't. If he can win a European Cup with Bayern Munich, I'd be more impressed. But having said that, Pep didn't manage that, did he? He didn't win the European Cup with Bayern. I think they got to
No.
see two semi-finals or a final. Anyway, he didn't do it. If Vinny can do it, then obviously I know they've extended his contract, haven't they? So, but that's probably the thing to do. They're unbeaten in Germany. It'd be interesting. I mean, I think if you said to me, yes, I'd love it, but I want a good manager. I'm not sentimental. It's no good being sentimental. We've done it before. You get Franny Lee, chairman. You got him back as a chairman. The club went even further downhill. Sentimentality doesn't come into it. You just want a bloody good manager. And if Vinny's doing the business in Germany, fine. But I'm not. A lot of people can do that in Germany. It's a matter of taking it that next level, isn't it? And winning a European Cup with Bayern. I've not won it for a few years, have they? Is it 4, 5, 6 years, 5 years or so?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, even obviously if you can do that, then yeah, he's welcome to come back. But if you wanted to, of course.
Yeah, that is very, very true. But yeah, some of obviously the other signings you've made, obviously, Ryan Nuri. I think went under the radar at Wolves as sort of a really attacking sort of left wing back.
Mm.
But I just kind of look at your left back situation at the moment, and it seems to me Nico O'Reilly seems to have taken that place very, very quickly.
Well, the trouble is, we bought. I kept commenting over the summer. We bought players who, injury wise, have been very very good with the previous teams. Now all of a sudden they join us, uh, and they're getting injured. Ryan Atnori never had hardly any time out through injury, and that's pushed
Yeah,
said O'Reilly into that left back spot. And Atnori will struggle to get back into it at this point in time because, of course, we'll see what he does against Salah at the weekend. Of course, O'Reilly, but he's doing great stuff. He's a big lad. He's 6'5". He's fit. He's physical. He's big. He's strong. Naturally a midfielder, of course, but Pep, he can make anyone into a defender. I mean, even Haaland's doing a lot of defending at the moment when he needs to. So that's what he can accomplish. At Nori, he's not really had a good go at it yet because he's not been fit enough, and of course Nico O'Reilly
yeah.
took his place now. So he's Nico O'Reilly's first on the team sheet. At Nori will have to wait.
Yeah, absolutely. And then some of the other players he brought in, James Trafford from Burnley, which I thought was a very, very sensible one at the time. Obviously, now you've obviously got
Mm.
another big guy, and obviously Donnarumma, who's just came in and
And we've only
excelled
got the
really. And
four keepers now. We've got Bettinelli as the third keeper, if you like, because Scott Carson, of course, retired. So he
yeah,
brought Bettinelli in to be a third keeper. But of course, Ortega's still there. So we've ended up with four keepers. I mean, we've got the ridiculous situation on the Champions League night that we've got two keepers sat there, Bettinelli and Trafford, who are just obviously not getting games. So it's a bit silly. But I think they thought Ortega, of course, Donnarumma just happened. I'm sure it wasn't overly planned, but it was too
mm,
too much of a good thing not to do it. I think, as I said, preparing for the future. Edison. Perhaps his head wasn't screwed on quite right, and it all came too late for Ortega. Poor Ortega. Well, I think he had something in Turkey, was it? I think he was due to go to one of the Turkish teams, but they picked up another
Mm,
goalkeeper, so we were left with we were left with four keepers. And Ortega's not a bad keeper. Ortega's not,
yeah.
he's currently third behind, of course, Donner and Trafford. But I tell you what, he'd do a good job at a Premier League team.
Yeah, I was amazed. I was actually amazed that he did stay. But again, as you say, there was another Turkish club that I were directly after him, and then obviously they brought in
Yeah.
another keeper. I can't remember who it was
Yeah,
now,
I got
but
out of that. I knew that it was penciled in, but of course it was all the last days of the transfer window, so it
yeah.
just didn't happen. So we didn't plan on having four goalkeepers, but there you go. Surprised he didn't use one to play out or something. But he's got a full squad now, apart from Kovacic and Rodri, so he's not that desperate at the moment.
I mean, you've strengthened in the midfield. You've strengthened obviously in the sort of the wings. Right back though, is that an area where you'd be like, I would like want someone like who is actually a
Yeah.
right back? Because for
Still a
me,
struggle. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah, because
Kusanov's a good lad, but he's only young. I mean, that's the thing as well. I said about planning for the future. A lot of these players are 20, 21, 22, 20. Our average age, I think, is just over 24 now of a normal starting 11 that we have. So it's fair. He's brought in some young players, and Kusanov is a cracking player. He had a disaster in
yeah,
his debut. You may have known about that when he played against Chelsea. He was awful, but he's never
mm,
really put a foot wrong. Never really put a foot wrong after that. But again, he's getting injury problems, which he didn't really have before. But he's another one who's suffering a few little niggles and injuries. And of course, Lewis now seems to be on the periphery a little bit because he was playing right back. But he's finally decided that he's not the guy to play right back. So he's been put to one side. And of course, we've got a new right back now, haven't we? Who wasn't never really meant to be a right back, of course.
yeah,
But that's Pep's way of doing things. But I can see there's still a need for it. But everyone was panicking in the summer. Oh, we need this, we need that, and because results have been going pretty well, we're saying, oh, perhaps we don't. So anyway, uh, it's working so far at the back, but there's no guarantee it will carry on.
yeah. And how would you sum up your season so far? Would you say it's been a little bit mixed? Because some games where I've like seen obviously Tottenham, Brighton aside, and obviously Villa, I think was your last defeat as well. How would you sum up the season so far?
Yeah, I mean the Villa one was disappointing because I wasn't. I know I don't know how they played against you last week. I didn't see that game at all. I believe they hit the woodwork a couple of times in the first half, but I wasn't overly impressed with Villa. That was a but it's one of these grounds now where I think we've lost. Three out of the last four now. We're just struggling there for some reason. As long as
Yeah,
it doesn't turn into an Anfield, we're all right. That's probably the only ground we go to now that we just don't seem to be able to get anything. But yeah, it was. I mean, Brighton and Tottenham, of course, match day 2 and 3. We lost both of them, and everyone was panicking because obviously we beat
mm,
Wolves, but that was proven not to be that fantastic because Wolves were struggling anyway. But then we started to put it together. The problem with City at the moment, we're only sort of putting it together for a half at a time. We seem to have a good 45 minutes. And then we seem to sort of either ease off or teams find us out and put us back under pressure. Defensively, we seem to be a lot better. You think of the Arsenal game when we drew; they scored in the last minute, very close to the end. Of course, we nearly nicked that one, and it would have been nicking it because we were very very defensive in the second. We were very good in the first half, and it was just total defence. And it's like you play on the school playing ground, isn't it? Where you just have one goal, defence and attack, and that's what that Arsenal game was like. But again, Arsenal, you sort of could see them struggling as well because they just couldn't break us down, and we're not the best defensive team. I mean, we do, we can play defence, but you know that. City Pep doesn't play defence; he doesn't like defending anyway. But yeah,
yeah.
so. That was a disappointing, the Villa game, because, we were on a run. It was 9 games unbeaten, and that's what you need, like yourselves. I mean, you've got to stop the rot. I mean, you had obviously the run of 4 league games, and obviously you've stopped the rot now in the last couple, and that's what you've got to do. We had the same problem last season, of course, where we started well, seemingly, but we weren't playing well, and then we started losing games. Now, Liverpool did a similar thing, I think, this season. They were winning games, but you weren't being totally, it was, what's the word? Not lucky, but convincing. You were never
Yeah.
really convincing. Then all of a sudden you have a bad run, and the thing is to get out of that bad run. And City didn't, did they? Up to Christmas, we got a victory, then we ended up losing 2 or 3 and stuff like that. I think we lost 13 out of 14 games or something stupid like that at one stage. So the Villa was a disappointment because I thought we'd go on a good run, and I thought we had a good chance at Villa. And the game itself, yeah, I mean, we were the better team. Again, it's just Haaland didn't score basically, but fortunately, the guys are chipping in now. And of course, we got a guy called Cherky that came to us. You got a bloke called Mr. Verts, and we ended up with a guy called Cherky. Who, at the moment, it looks as though we got a pretty good deal on him, based on
Mm.
what we've seen so far. So, yeah, it's interesting. Yes, Villa apart, I think we've been doing the business reasonably well. So we have moments in games like against Dortmund the other night. Say the last 30 minutes, we seem to just take our foot off the pedal and let them get back into it a little bit. And of course, when it went 3-1, we were all thinking, oh God, another Feyenoord here, 3-3 after being 3-0 up. But of course, this City's a little bit stronger than last season. We're a different animal to last season. And I remember welcoming you lot last season, and we just knew we were going to get beat. I think you beat us 2-0, and it was no real problem for you. I think we're a totally different animal this year, so hopefully things will go really well.
Yeah, that was a rarity as well. That was an actual rare win at the Etihad because I think we hadn't won in the league. I think since 2015. It was like Jurgen Klopp's the first season, and then I think we won 4-1. Obviously before last season as well. But you're absolutely right because it feels like we're stealing your fire slightly. Starting well, as you said, we haven't been convincing at all. Bournemouth, we were 2-0 up. We allowed Bournemouth back into the game. That was obviously 2-2. And then obviously we had Chiesa coming off the bench to make that 3-2. Then Salah does what Salah does best and scores a very, very good goal as well. And yeah, after that, Newcastle away, very, very fortunate to get that win. I think Newcastle battered us, is the safest thing to say. Arsenal, I've seen people say Arsenal were very, very comfortable in that game. I think they probably were. We didn't look like scoring until obviously Szoboszlai with the very, very big free kick. Um, yeah, as you said, after that, it's not been great. Burnley we had to survive a last minute penalty to get the win there as well. And the other thing I would have to say as well, the 4 defeats that we had in a row, Galatasaray, Palace, Chelsea, and then obviously Manchester United. In all those 4 games, we deserved to get beat, Bernard, and that's the that's the really really strange thing when you look back at the 2 games that we've just played as well. Aston Villa, not great, but we got the result. Real Madrid, probably the best performance of the season so far.
Yeah, I mean, Real Madrid, of course, a couple of guys watched it, and they were commenting just how poor Real Madrid were. But I think it was more or less the opposite to that. I mean, it was only the goalkeeper kept it to 1, wasn't it? I think Courtois, as he
Yeah.
does, had a cracking game, and I thought that was better from Liverpool. Real Madrid never as effective, I don't think. I know it sounds stupid for all the things they've won, but never effective away from home in group stages or even to sort of knockout rounds. I mean, if you think about last season when they beat us on penalties, and it wasn't the greatest City team. I mean, we battered them. We battered them, and he got say the
Hmm.
goalkeeper did miracles. And this day wasn't a good City team last year, as you know. It was but by that stage, at least we'd started on a little bit of a run. And they were very lucky they beat us on penalties in the end. Of course, 4-4 on aggregate, and they beat us on penalties. But yeah, I mean, you can batter. I mean, that's the thing with Real Madrid and
Yeah.
Liverpool. And they've got the 2 wins. Confidence will be a little bit. I mean, I was saying on mine that we should have. It'd been better if we played Liverpool last. When we played Villa, that we played Liverpool and played Villa this week. Because obviously at that stage you were in your run of, of
Yeah.
before the Villa game and of course the Real Madrid game. If we'd played you that weekend instead of Villa, it might have been a totally different. We could have extended it and knocked you down a bit. But I think that'll help Liverpool, as you say. Weren't convincing against Villa, but yeah, I think beating Real Madrid, you've got to be happy with that as a team, as a group. And obviously the manager will be sort of keeping his troops heads, keeping your sort of what's the word feet on the ground. But
Yeah.
it can't be
Yeah.
bad, can it? It can't be bad. And the trouble is, the Etihad. It could be one of those. Was it last year the year before where we sort of it was a draw? I'm sure we talked before a game as well. I don't think it was the cup game where it was a horrible draw one year. I think it's 1-1 or something stupid like that.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah. I
quiet.
was that Trent
Yeah,
Alexander-Arnold?
yeah. We just remember that. I remember talking to you before that one. We were always saying, "Oh, they're always good matches, they're always great," and then it was such a turgid game. It was horrible. It
Hmm.
was horrible to watch. Now, I don't think that'll happen this week. I think Pep's going to be brave. I'm not too sure. You'll probably tell me how Slot's going to play it, but I think Pep will have a go for this. He might even stick the same 11 out that he did against Dortmund. I can see a couple of changes, but if he goes both wingers, if he goes Savvy and Doku, then he's being brave. He's going for it. Simple as that.
Sabio. Very weird situation with that one. Because there was obviously the talk of obviously Tottenham coming in for him. Was there a bid? Was there not a bid? He's managed. He's staying on. He's staying at City so far. Now I've
He's
seen
got
a
an
lot of
extension.
people
He's
be.
got, he's got a new contract. So I mean, I don't
Hmm,
know the logic with that. I don't know about the logic of the 70 million bid. We hear that, but you know me, Doug. I don't believe anything unless they're sat with the guy signing the contracts. I never listen to stuff like that. I don't have any sort of say with that. But he is a funny one, Sam. I think Pep's got a lot of faith in. He's only young. Don't forget, he's another young lad. He's hardly anything. He's
yeah.
no, he's another youngster. He was excellent against Dortmund for a lot of the game, but I wish he had some shooting boots. He just every time he shoots, it's either over the bar or wide. It's shocking, and yet I think he scored 1 or 2 for Brazil. He's done okay. He was doing okay there, and of course he did well in La Liga, didn't he, in Spain where he
Yeah.
was playing. He was superb, certainly for one season. But he's so young. I mean, a lot of these lads are young. I mean, they were picking on Gonzalez. I mean, City fans were saying, "Oh, he's not good enough, this guy." And he's played about half a dozen games or something like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. And now everyone's praising he's not a bad player, is he? Well, yeah, give him time. I mean, it's Pep, for God's sake. You've got to play for Pep for at least 12 months before you
Yeah.
start seeing the best of players. And these players were expected to come in January and do the business. And some of them did. Marmoush, for instance, did really well. I mean, he's had injury problems again, another one with injury problems. But you can't do it with Pep's teams. And this is why, the patience has got to be there. And I think this season, I think most City fans were going to be patient. But because we went on that good run up to Villa, everyone's thinking, we should be doing this, getting all ahead of themselves again of what we can and what we can't do. This is a work in progress. City is very much a work in progress at the moment, and that work in progress could carry on, of course, without the big boss season after next.
Erling Haaland, 26 goals so far this season for club and country. I know it's a cliche when people say form of his life, but with this form, is he in the form of his life?
Well, no hat tricks, mate. No hat tricks for over a year. But he, he keeps saying that Pep takes him off when he's on 2, but he doesn't at all. He leaves him on for ages. He can score 2 in 20 minutes, and then he's on to about the 70th minute. So you've had plenty of time, mate, to get your hat trick. But so I'm not agreeing with that he's whinging about that Pep takes him off before he can score his hat tricks. But yeah, he's a more complete player now as well. Defensively, he works harder. Doesn't have a lot of touches on the ball, and that's what people are saying. But and
Yeah.
he will miss good chances. I mean, he could have had at least 2 hat tricks over the last couple of weeks, but he's blew one-on-ones and chances that you'd think he'd put away because he's so clinical at times. And that's how he is. I think he's always been like that. If he gets 5 chances, he'll stick a couple in. But all strikers, you can't score every one, can they? They can't score every chance they've
Yeah.
got. But I think his work rate is tremendous now. He's coming, he's one of our. If we're under pressure, he's back defending. Certainly from set pieces, which we're shocking at. Still, we're still one of the poorest teams at set pieces. We've got a new set piece coach this season. He's a total waste of space. French, is it? I think he's called, or something like that. Anyway, it looked all right in America when we went on. We were over in America. I think we scored from a couple of the corners. And, we got a good set piece coach here, and we've not done anything since then. So. And everyone else, of course, has upped the set piece things, haven't they? Everyone's, from long throws have become a weapon now that City have never done. I didn't even know Kyle Walker could do a long throw till he did it against us, playing against Burnley the other week. And Kyle Walker was flinging them in. He never did it for us. We never did anything like that, because we still don't do it. And I was going to include a long throw stat in my stats at the end of matches because I thought every team seems to be doing them. Do you do them? Do you do the long throws?
Yeah, we've done them. Soboslai's done them. Bradley's done them. It just seems to. Uh, this is the thing, Bernard. I don't get the like Jamie Carragher and I can't remember the other guy's name, but there's a couple of people on Sky who are like complaining about long throws. Like, come on, long throws have been
The
in the
weapon.
game of football for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to make the most of corners and free kicks. I mean, long throws is just another dead ball situation that you have to take full advantage of. It's just say it's part of football. It's not pretty, but if it's effective, does it matter? I mean, if Pep had sort of concentrated more on set pieces as well as his beautiful football, surely he can have both. Surely he can have beautiful football and have the ability for one of you guys who can dribble to throw a long ball in as well.
Yeah,
Surely he can have both. Sure, we might have won more. He might have won
yeah,
more with City. But obviously, if he sort of made that, as long as it's not, the on about Delap and the old Stoke City and all that sort of thing. But hey, listen, when Arsenal were sort of seemed to be scoring from every corner, was it last season, the season before? I mean, you have to take account. People get paid a lot of money, don't they? We have all these set piece
hmm
coaches, and they're not on 20 quid a week. 20 quid a week. I mean, they're paid a lot of money to decide. I mean, I always get a bit annoyed about penalties. Obviously they must have all the stats on penalty takers and where they usually put it. Do they have stats on psychologically? Oh, yeah, but he only puts it there if he's confident. He puts it there if he's a bit nervous because it's a key penalty. And all these they must be there. But I mean, to
yeah,
me, doing a simple analysis of penalties. I mean, I always had a way of. I used to be a goalkeeper for a bit. I always had a good record of saving penalties because I always had my own way of doing things, and it's not technical. I didn't know the players. I didn't know Fred him from the Union pub something usually puts it in the left hand corner. I didn't have those facts, did I? And yet all the penalties that I see going, I thought they must do better. You've got to do better with set pieces. You've got to do better defending set pieces as well, which we're not done too bad actually. I think we were one of the better teams this season up to about the last couple of games ago, where defending set pieces, which is unusual because we can't score from them. So yeah, why not? As you say, it's part of football, and what we've got to do just play the same thing year in year out. You've got to come up with new ways of scoring
yeah.
goals, and why not? I say if we had a long throw specialist, I'm sure we'd be putting it in the box and letting out because Haaland will win everything. I mean, with
hmm
Donnarumma now, Donnarumma aims up the pitch, of course, a lot more than Edison did, and usually Haaland can win it. We've got no one else. We've got no one to pick it up after he's won the ball, mind you. We can't win that second. We can't win the ball after he's headed it on. There's no one there to do that. But
Yeah.
we can get his head to it. So why not?
And sort of looking at it an outsider's point of view, what have you made of Liverpool so far in their transfer business so far?
They spent a lot, mate. It's whether is it. But again, don't these players need time to settle in? I mean, even all
Yeah,
right. Perhaps Slot once. I mean, we're in a lot of negatives about Verts. I mean, you've watched him week in, week out? Are those? Is it unfair, or does he need time to mix to get involved in it? And the thing is, once you've won the league, as you know, it's people. It is hard to defend. I mean, defend it to get four in a row is amazing. It would have been lovely to get five in a row, but you're talking stupid. He was being absolutely stupid. And of course, he had. I thought he'd done. I thought Liverpool had done the right thing. I thought, from a position of strength, that's when you invest and bring new players in.
Yeah.
Slot seemed to know what he was doing, but obviously, as you say, generally, apart from the odd game, they've been winning games, perhaps some not unfairly, but against the run of it. It's just having a little bit of luck. So it's investment, and you've got to invest properly. But I'm sure you'll tell me. Is Vert's going to be the one? Is he going to be the guy to play that sort of role?
I think the thing is with Verts, I'm not sure we know his best position. Um, Now, against Real Madrid, he was playing from the left and he looked so much more comfortable on the left. He was going at, I can't for the life of me who that right back was on Tuesday there, but he was coming in, he was going inside, the people as well. He looked really comfortable there. We've been playing him sort of as like a number 10, and
Yeah.
he doesn't get in the game. It's just, I think he will come good for that amount of money that we spent on him. I think he will come good eventually.
A lot
I
of pressure,
think the only,
isn't it? There's a lot of pressure on the players, and people don't appreciate that. When you get,
yeah,
it's a if you're that player, you think, oh, I'm worth this to that team, but it's tremendous pressure. And I don't know, has he played most games? Has he not? He's not been. Has he been just stuck in every game?
he's been on the bench a couple of times
Right.
actually,
Okay. Yeah.
which I think is kind of good for him because he knows that he's not probably not a guaranteed starter, but obviously for that amount of money. But I do think he will come good. I do
Yeah.
think he will come good. I think the only signing we've really made that's really looked like he is the part at the moment is the tall French boy Hugo Ekitike. I
Mm.
think he has looked really really good as well. Kirkes for me, I think he's another one that will come good. But again, form is temporary, class is permanent when it comes to Andy Robertson, who I say has probably been one of the best left backs the Premier League has seen in like the last sort of 7-8 seasons. He's been absolutely fantastic. So obviously we got Frimpong as well. He's injured. He's going to be missing the game at the weekend, and then we bring in Alexander Isak as well. So
Yeah.
and obviously we've got the Georgian boy Marmadashvili as well, because obviously Alisson's going to be out for this game. I think I read actually that Allison is going to be back for Forest. Frimpong's going to be out until I think December. I think, and I think Alexander Isak could potentially meet the bench on Sunday.
Yeah, it's be a few new faces that I've not seen for Liverpool anyway that playing the game, but I dread to think, mate. I dread to think how this is going to pan out. I mean, Arsenal are obviously wanting a draw. The Arsenal fans are
Yeah,
wanting a draw, as you said at the start of this program. I've said in my little preview, it's go big or go home. It's just one of those games that you've just got to go for it. You can't. You can't.
yeah,
We're only 11 games. It's only what game 11, match day 11. Of course it is. But you saw last season, if you get a gap, if you get that confidence, get a few points clear, and the other teams aren't getting any sort of consistency, and us and yourselves probably can say we're not as inconsistent. Arsenal have suddenly turned into a great defensive unit. Perhaps he could do a little something. They could do with a Haaland up front, perhaps, and that would make them totally probably unbeatable. No one would catch them. They had a decent guy up front. Even your guy Isaac, the one you got from guy
yeah,
from Newcastle, might be doing better. That might do a better job there as well in that setup that they've got. But we can't afford it. I mean, the thing is, as you said, if we draw and Arsenal beats Sunderland, not an easy game. But you got to think Sunderland's bubble will burst at some stage, and they've done very, very well, and obviously they're letting at home. They've always got a chance, of course, with the fans behind them. But yeah, I think we've got to go for it. Liverpool will be happier with a draw, but I don't think it'll do any either of us any good. Even though, as I say, we're only 11 games in, it's loads to play for. Of course, it is, but psychologically, and a lot of football is psychological. Either of us win, it'll be a big psychological, and you've got to keep the pressure on. I mean, Liverpool could
Hmm.
relax last year. Arsenal aren't going to bottle it if there's no pressure on them. Arsenal are only going to bottle it if there's a little bit of pressure on them into that last third of the season. It's far too early yet, of course it is, but you just got to keep in there fighting, and that's what we sort of said with City. I think the fans said we just got to keep up there in and around it. We don't have to be in the lead. It doesn't matter. We never have to do that anyway. But it just put that little bit of pressure on whether it's Liverpool or Arsenal. I can't see it being Sunderland up there after Christmas. Bournemouth, I can't see Bournemouth being there after Christmas. Chelsea, who knows what Chelsea got to do? There's total. So I have no idea what Chelsea going to do week in, week out. So they won't have the consistency. So it's going to be the three of us really, and we just have to keep battling away. Say if Liverpool win, it'll be devastating. Certainly with an international. And I hate going into an international break, losing a game. It's horrible. Absolutely, absolutely. I hate it. I really do. But yeah, it's not. Of course, it won't be over, and nothing will be over. Nothing will be sorted. And Sunderland might beat Arsenal, but then one of us will be in. We could be in 3 points or 4 points of them at the top of the table. So,
Yeah.
but we got to be brave. Slot's got to be brave. A lot of times, Liverpool, as you said, didn't have the greatest record at the Etihad, apart, of course, till last season in the league, coming to us, and that's sometimes because Klopp was a bit. I'm not going to say I don't like using the word cowardly, but he just wasn't brave enough sometimes. And
Mm.
even when United have been half decent, they've come to the Etihad and been a bit, they haven't gone for it. And sometimes you just have to go for it. It's only 11th game, just go for it. Just have a go and try and win the game. And of course, it ends up 4-3 for one of us. Fair enough, but you will always get about 30 minutes against us anyway, put it that way. Whether it's in the second half or 15 minutes before half time, 15 minutes afterwards, because we sort of have a rest. I think they have a rest. I think Pep tells them to have a rest for a bit. So Liverpool have got, if they can exploit that, then it's pretty good. But we've got Donnarumma now. We can rely on him to pull out a few saves when needed. He likes the big games. He's a big game goalkeeper. It's as simple as that. He'll make little cock ups against, let's say, lesser teams or lesser games. But he's the guy you want in the Champions League, the big games, the games against Liverpool, etc. Donnarumma's the sort of bloke that gives us a new vibe at the club. And it's nice to have a guy you think might save a one-on-one, rather than, oh God, it's a goal. Salah's through, it's a goal list. We may as well forget it. It's nice to have someone like Donnarumma who you think, oh, he might just save it.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, to face two of the best keepers in the world and Thibaut Courtois and Gianluigi Donnarumma back to back is quite something. But yeah, how do you see City lining up on Sunday?
Yeah, I've got an 11 here. Let me just try and get my thing up. As I say, I can see a couple of changes to the Dortmund game. Of course, against Dortmund, he didn't. He had on the bench Diaz. Diaz has got to start this. Diaz is playing brilliantly this season. It's good to see him back to some form. Of course, he started Shirky on the bench, so he's got to play, and he started Bernardo on the bench
Mm.
against Dortmund. So I expect those three to come in. And of course, Stonesy played. I assume Stones will drop out. Probably Reinders. And of course, Savio Doku. If he plays Savio Doku again, I'll be surprised. Plays them both, but that means he's going for it probably. So I've gone for Donnarumma, Nunes. Of course, he's doing a bloody good job at right back at the moment. Again, another guy I stuck up for when everyone was slagging him off. He's doing a pretty good job for us. Diaz and Gvardiol is probably our go-to centre half partnership. O'Reilly to take on Salah, of course, on that left-hand side. We'll see how that pans out. And our new DM, Gonzalez, we might never see Rodri again, mate. He might. That's it. He might be. He's not signed a new contract yet. He might be on his way soon. You never know. Bernardo, Savi, Foden, Doku, and Haaland. I've gone for for Pep being brave and sticking Savvy and Doku, but I could be 2 or 3 wrong with that. But
Mm.
I think that's more or less it. I can't see too much difference in that. Of course, what's Liverpool going to look like?
Yeah, this is the thing because against Madrid, that I still say I think Madrid was our best performance of the season so far. So
Did you rest anyone? Did anyone get rested,
um,
or was it his best team? I
it
mean,
was his
I
best
think
team.
Pep rested 2 or 3 for Liverpool and still had
Mm.
a pretty reasonable team out. Of course we did, but did Slot do a similar thing, or did he play his best 11?
I think he was his best 11. I think the only one really potentially is maybe a question mark potentially to come back in is probably Cody Gakpo. I know Slot said something this morning. I think it was about Andy Robertson potentially playing 3 games in a week. So we may see Milos Kerkez, who has been a big disappointment so far. I've got to be honest. But no, if it was me, I would stick with the same team that played Madrid
Mm,
because it was really comfortable. It worked. And it's so important having Ryan Gravenberg back because I think that's been another sort of reason we've kind of struggled. We've not had Ryan sort of Gravenberg in that midfield, and the midfield kit keeps changing. One week it's Maka, Sobozloy, and Verts, and then another week it's like Maka, Gravenberg, and Sobozloy. So it's and plus obviously Sobozloy's had to play a right back as well. But no, I think he'll go the same team. I'm going to go Mamadashvili in goal, Bradley at right
Just,
back,
just,
Rob.
just, just while you're on the goalkeeper, what difference does it make when Alisson's not in?
Um, look, I think Mamadashvili is a really really good goalkeeper. Um, we've not defended well. We are suspect at the back. I'll be the not the first one to admit that we are very suspect at the back. Um, he is a lefty. Like obviously, Allison like hits it with his goal kicks with his right foot, and Marmadashvili is sort of more of a lefty. So half the time his goal kicks do go out of play for a throw in. Uh, but then there's other ones where he will pick out Gakpo or Salah. So he's been all right. He's last couple of games he's looked really really good. And I know Madrid weren't great, but he still had to make some very very good saves. Aston Villa made some good saves as well. He's a really good understudy.
Mm,
Especially with the lad that we had previously in Kelleher, who I think is. I was so happy he moved because he deserved it. He deserved this chance to be a number one goalkeeper,
mm.
and I think he's been really really good, Kelleher for Brentford. So yeah, Mamadashvili, very good goalkeeper. Um, but I think once Allison comes back, he'll probably know that he'll probably go back to the bench, and Allison will probably come straight back in.
Yeah, I mean, he has to really, doesn't he? I mean, and Salah, what I've been hearing mixed reports on Salah's form this season, a bit up and down. Is of course a goal against Villa. Did he score against Madrid? Did he
He
score?
didn't score against Madrid, but he looked really, really threatening, like the old Salah.
I think he likes playing us, doesn't he? I think he likes playing City as well, Salah.
Yeah, yeah, he he does. But I think the thing with Salah this season, and he'll be going to Afcon in December. I can't believe Afcon's in December this year,
Yeah, yeah.
as well. But I do think one of the things people have kind of noticed this season, he is definitely affected by the tragic passing of Diogo Jota. I
Right.
think I think he was really really close to him in the dressing room. So I think it's it's definitely going to hurt the squad not having sort of Jota around. But I think Salah's been the most effective because I think Salah was probably
Yeah, yeah, I think
the
that's
most
underestimated.
closest.
I think that's underestimated, isn't it? As I say, I talked about psychology before and things in there, and I'm not mentioning Phil Foden today. I mean, Phil Foden is back. It seems to be back on, back on it. But
Yeah,
last year obviously he didn't have a friend who died or anything like that, but he had other things going on, and the effect. And people have to accept that the effect on the players away from football, what might be happening. It's easy saying, "Oh, you put it behind you" and stuff like that. But it does have effects. So what you're saying about Salah probably rings true. That they have to work their way through that and become back to the best again. And as I say, it's a totally different circumstance with Foden. He had a few personal things last season. You can see the difference now of him
Yeah.
enjoying his football again. And of course, as you say, hopefully, hopefully for you, not for us, Salah can get back to something like his best as well. Especially with that new haircut, I prefer his new haircut to his old haircut. Anyway, that's for sure. And not
Yeah,
that
I
I
do as
can
well.
say too much about it, but
No, like I think I think you will get back into form very very soon. But yeah, say as I was saying, same team that played Madrid: Marmadashvili, Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, Gravenberch, McAllister, Soboslai, and then Wirtz, Salah, and Hugo Ekitike. I know Alexander
how will
Isak
your
will be.
bench be looking? Have you got a strong bench with that team?
So the bench would be probably like Woodman, who's our third choice goalkeeper, Kirkes, Gomez, Chiesa, Jones, Isak, young lad I can't speak, Ingo Moa, as well. Um, and there maybe be a couple of youngsters on there. Oh, Endo as well. Endo. I can't forget. Forget our Japanese star. He
Right.
so
Yeah.
yeah. Bench is looking okay. I think,
Yeah.
especially with
Yeah.
the fact that Isak will be back. I think that'll be absolutely massive. Whether he gets on or not is another matter. But I just think from him to be back will be very very good because I do feel for Ekiteke at times when Isak's not been there to come off the bench. It's almost like he has to sort of perform and try and get the goals. So I think having Isak back there will be really really key
Mm. Mm.
for sure. So I can't let you leave without giving me a score prediction. What are you going for?
Well, I'd say a draw, but I don't think it's any good for either of us. A draw,
No.
and I think Pep is going to be positive with his team selection. We do have a good bench because we've only got Kovacic and Rodri, Kusanov as well now. Yeah, so probably the three that would probably be classed as first team. So it's a good bench as well, although a lot of that bench haven't been playing many games because you've not been fit enough. So, obviously, what effect they can have. People like Marmoush, a great player, Marmoush.
Hmm.
He's not got any to game time this season yet. So have a go. Of course, another one who'll be affected by the going off in the winter to that thing. But that's what I don't like about them things. But I've said in my prediction, I've been bold. I've gone for us winning 3-1 for this one. But I just have a fear it might end in a draw. But I'll go for 3-1 for City just to be positive and keep Arsenal fans worried.
Yeah, I think whoever wins this will be more buoyed on about the
Yeah,
fact that they can
yeah,
just like go at Arsenal. If you win it, then you obviously you close
yeah,
the gap
yeah,
on Arsenal. But obviously, if we win, I think we close it back to I think it's 7 points.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if we draw and they win, that would put them 8 points ahead of us and 9 ahead of you, wouldn't it? I
Nine
think.
ahead of us, yeah. So
No, it's not, as you say, 11 games in, it doesn't really matter too much, but it's just up there. A lot of football's played up there, and we've got to, from our point of view, from your point of view, just keep Arsenal thinking and worrying. Don't let them get too confident like the fans do after about 5 games they're going to win the league. Don't let the players start believing that, and could be in trouble.
absolutely, yeah. So you're going
If I
three
was
one
you,
City.
I predicted a Liverpool win if I was you. Put it this way, it won't be as easy as last season. It's not if it's anything like last season, I'll be very disappointed because, as I say, I think City are a totally different animal this year. Probably Liverpool are as well, actually, at the moment, aren't they? Still struggling, perhaps. They were on a high, I think, when they came to our place last year. I think they had already started to open up a gap and
Yeah.
looked as though it was just a matter of how many points that we're going to win it by last season, and they say confidence. So go on, what win would you predict for Liverpool then?
See, I think there will be goals in this. I think there will be goals in this. I am going to say Haaland will score because I think it's inevitable. I think he scores. Um, oh, do you know what? The one thing that would really, really please me is like a Wirtz goal because that would just be very, very good.
You should really let us have this one because you're going to beat us at Anfield. You always do. So you should always let us. You should always let us win at the Etihad anyway, because you always get the 3 points at Anfield. So it's only fair, really.
It's only fair. I'll go 2-1 Liverpool.
Yeah.
I'll go 2-1 Liverpool. I do think there will be goals, but as I said, I just cannot see us keeping you out. I don't think you'll keep us out either. So, but our away form is absolutely horrendous
Is it
at
bad?
the
I've
best.
not really noticed the away thing. I think I watched.
Yeah,
Were you away at home the very first game of the season?
we're away at Newcastle. We won 3-2. Uh, but recently, Palace we lost 2-1. Chelsea we lost 2-1. Brentford we lost 3-2.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's almost. I think the
Oh,
last away win was Burnley.
yeah, I'll go more than 3. Well, I think 4-1 then.
It'll be a very interesting game, and I'll go. I'll
I'll
go
tell you
two
what,
one. I'll.
from a neutral point of view, I think there's a lot of little battles going on. As I said, the main one for me would be O'Reilly against Salah would be very interesting, but that midfield would be very interesting, of course. And it'd be interesting to see how Gonzalez does because he's getting a lot of credit at the moment. But see how he copes against Liverpool, against the top 2-3 side, which is the big difference, isn't it? It's all right playing the teams like, well, even the Bournemouths, all right, the second in the league, and everyone when we beat Bournemouth, everyone was raving. I thought, all right, the second in the league at the moment, but they're not prime Real Madrid coming to our ground. Everyone's getting a bit carried away with it, and they were far too tactically. They were shocking. I'm certainly
Mhm.
Liverpool, but I'm sure Liverpool, for all the defensive frailties, won't be as bad as. I mean, Bournemouth were like us at our worst, where we were so pressing so high up. We were sort of, the attackers could start in their own half and not be offside and still break through and score a goal, and that's exactly how they played. So there's a
Yeah.
lot going on in that Bournemouth game that I think. Well, no, I think Bournemouth have done okay. He's done a great job, but tactically, it was shocking. Dortmund were far better, but as I say, we beat them 4-1. But yeah, Liverpool, of course, as you say, probably defensive frailties, but I think they'll be a little bit better tactically than Bournemouth were anyway.
Yeah, I don't think our defensive line will be as high as Bournemouth was, and yeah, I actually watched that game and I couldn't believe how high Bournemouth defended. I think
It's like trying to play offside, but you're in your own half. How can you play your offside when you're in your own half? It's just ridiculous. Sorry, in the opponent's half.
yeah,
How can you play the offside trap when you're all in the opponent's half? And City, Pep's done that occasionally. You just laugh at it. It's just quite funny. I like the Bournemouth manager. I think he's very very good. But I think they were a little bit overconfident. I think it was too being second. I think was getting to them, and hopefully they'll do all right because I don't mind Bournemouth. It's nice to see these teams up there as well, isn't it? Of course, it's like Sunderland, etc. But
yeah,
yeah, as I say, tactically, people rate all this. We beat Bournemouth. They were second, yeah, okay, but they didn't play like a team that was second.
yeah. No, they certainly didn't. But Bernard, it's been an absolute pleasure to get you back on the channel. I've really enjoyed this chat, and hopefully we'll both enjoy the game on Sunday.
Yeah, well, one of us might.
That's true.
Because
That is
we
very,
can't
very true.
both enjoy it because we both enjoy it. It's the draw, and that's not really what we're after, is it? So one
Yeah,
of us has to enjoy it more than the other, unfortunately, for it to count.
yeah, absolutely. But tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, well, it's on there. It's on the screen, isn't it? I mean, obviously, because I do the film and TV stuff, I call it the Citizen Channel, which, of course, if you put that into Google, it'll come up and stuff like that. But obviously, with the film and TV stuff, I've just stuck to my name, which is quite rare. So get that out there rather than the name of my channel. So that's on the other things like TikTok and all this sort of thing. It's all comes under the same thing. So you can find me on there.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you on the
Cheers. No,
channel again.
thanks for
It's
having me, mate. Cheers.
no, it's been great, and I really enjoyed this as well. But yeah, guys, please go check out Burner's channel. Getting ever so close to 50K, which is absolutely amazing. Which is fantastic. So yeah, please do go and check out
Cheers, mate.
his channel. And yeah, let us know your starting 11 for the game. City and Liverpool fans, let us know. And let us know your score prediction ahead of what should be a very, very interesting game. But for myself and Bernard, it is goodbye, and we'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye bye for now.